Yes.
Okay. So to start off with, how much do you know about personality type stuff?
Nothing at all, actually.
Okay. All right, cool. Um, okay, so can you talk to me a little bit about your eating habits? Like, do you eat at a regular time, meals, like 3 square a day, or do you eat when you get hungry? Do you snack or what?
I'm not very organized about my meals. I eat maybe 2 times a day, and then I snack when I'm hungry, and it's always in a different time. Sorry, every day.
Okay. And what about your sleeping habits?
Well, I go to bed very, very late at 2, 3 a.m. and then I wake up at around 11 because I have university in the afternoon.
Okay, I see. And what are you studying at university?
Languages.
Okay. How far along are you in your studies?
Not a lot. I'm in first year and it's been 2 months.
So do you envision yourself like getting a job as a translator or something?
Yeah, translator. I wish to be a guide in Scotland.
In Scotland?
Yes. I've been there with my boyfriend and I just love the place so much.
Okay. So you mentioned you go to bed like 2 in the morning, get up at like 11 in the morning. So do you feel you need that full 8 hours of sleep every night, 8 or 9 hours, or do you sometimes get less?
Sometimes I get less, sometimes I get more. I can sleep up to 14 hours because I dream very lucidly. So every time I dream, I need to finish that dream before getting.
Okay. Okay. So if you're sleeping as much as 14 hours, I mean, that doesn't leave you a whole lot of awake hours, right?
No, no, but it's been this way since I was a newborn. Actually, I always slept a lot.
Okay, cool. Um, how many languages are you studying? What languages do you speak?
For now, I speak three. I speak Russian, English, and Italian, and now I study German. And I'm thinking about a second language between Chinese and Russian because I need to get better in that language.
I see. I lived in Shanghai for a few months, about 10 years ago or so, when I was working for this company that was opening schools over there.
Huh?
But, you know, Taiwan's a lot nicer than China.
Mhm.
So if you're gonna go into some Chinese speaking place, go to Taiwan instead of China.
Taiwan. Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
Um, all right. Do you cook for yourself, or does someone in your family cook for you?
Well, it depends on who's home, but mostly or I cook or my mother. But yeah, we divide the chores. Sometimes I cook, sometimes her. It's 50-50 almost.
Okay. Do you cook a lot of pasta and stuff because you're in Italy?
Yes, we do.
Okay, cool. Um, do you plan to live in Italy for the majority of your life, or are you studying these languages so you can move someplace? You said Scotland. Do you want to stay there for a long time, or what?
I want to travel the world, so I want to live in a lot of places. So yeah, I don't plan on staying in Italy more than another maybe 7 years.
Okay. Is there something wrong with Italy, or you just want to see new things?
There is not a lot of jobs, and the rent is very high, and the taxes that we pay is very high. So it's not balanced between your paycheck and the cost of living. So I want to travel to see where is the best place to settle down.
I see. When's the last time you took a vacation?
In September,
Where did you go?
in Scotland and England. Yeah.
Okay. Can you tell me your favorite moment from that trip and your least favorite moment?
So my favorite moment was a tour organized by a company, and we traveled along of the Scotland side, and we saw a lot of places like the Loch Ness.
Did you see
Um,
the Loch Ness Monster?
Not really, but I I wish there was something I saw.
So was your favorite moment like seeing the Loch Ness or some specific instance, or are you saying in general it covered this time period?
No, so this time period was awesome, but I specifically loved the there are three mountains, and the view was just spectacular along the way. And also, it was very cold. I love a cold environment, so it was the perfect place. The sun was setting, and it was
I see.
aesthetically good.
Did you take pictures?
Yes, yes, I did.
Do you generally take a lot of pictures when you go places?
Always, I have a lot of memory occupied on my phone by pictures, just pictures.
Cool. Can you tell me about what kind of media you consume? Like, do you watch YouTube? Do you watch TV? Do you read books? Do you listen to music, etc.?
I watch generally YouTube. I It's my primary choice, and then there is Instagram, but it's not as much as YouTube.
So, what kind of videos do you watch on YouTube?
Uh, spooky, spooky stories. Then some I don't know, art. I studied art, and then I don't know. I listen a lot of music, and I love to watch the music video while I listen.
Okay, what's some music that you listen to?
Classical music, and I I don't really have a genre that I can say it's my favorite. I listen to all. Pop maybe. I enjoy also some slow country music.
Or when you're
Lady
listening
Gaga.
to music, are
Huh?
you just listening to music or are you also doing something else?
No, I just listen to music and I watch the music video. If not, I am distracted by the music if I'm doing something.
I see. Do you listen to the words a lot? Does it matter to you how good the lyrics to something are if it has words in it?
Yes, yes, I listen to the words.
Okay. Um, let's see. Can you talk to me about your relationship with procrastination and getting things checked off of lists and stuff?
So that is a big problem in my life. I don't uh, do all the things that I need in time. I procrastinate a lot. I just can't get myself up and doing things. I can think about it and then forget it, and I'm also terrible with calendars, so I'm not keeping track of the things that I need, and maybe in 2 months I remember a thing that I needed to do earlier.
I see. Okay. Do you do you know what you want in life in terms of, say, having a family, whether or not you want to have kids, those kind of big life questions?
So I want to get settled and married, but I still don't know about kids. It depends on the economy in the future, and it depends on what type of job I'm doing. If I'm always working, maybe it's not the best decision to do kids.
Sure. What about pets? Do you have any pets?
Yes, I have 2 cats.
Okay. Do your cats get along with each other?
Well, they are both female, so sometimes they fight, but yes, they get along pretty well.
One of my cats, we have two cats also, but one of them is a former stray cat, and he's always trying to bully our other cat. Very frustrating.
Yeah,
It's hard to police cats, but I yell at him, say, "Stop bullying your sister," but he doesn't listen.
yeah. Uh, One of my cats also is a former stray cat, and she always steals food from the other.
Those former strays, they tend to be more territorial too.
Yes, yes, they are.
Um, do you envision while you're doing your traveling that you'd like to do? Do you envision that you'll not have any pets during that time period?
I think yes. It's more complicated to go around if you have a pet. I'm not also into dogs. I prefer cats. So
Yeah, pets are a lot of responsibility.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay. So do you do any creative endeavors, be it like writing, painting, making music, acting, anything like that?
I paint. Yes, I paint. I also do sculptures with robotic places, so it moves around. I made a pair of headphones. Sorry, with 2 motors inside, so you don't need Bluetooth or internet to work.
Okay, that's interesting. Um, so do you think that figuring out how things work, what's your relationship with figuring out how things work?
I love it. I actually sometimes go to museums and try to figure out something before reading the description.
I see.
Also, apps, how things work, and maybe some riddle. I love also.
Okay, so let's talk about your relationship with other people's feelings. Do you understand how other people feel by putting yourself in their shoes or by reading how they reading their body language and other cues?
I say both, but I think the first one, I put myself in their shoes.
Okay. Do you think that um, do you think that your own emotions tell you more about what's important to you or more about where your boundaries are?
My emotions. So I was a lot of people pleaser, and I didn't have a lot of boundaries. And right now, I focus on getting boundaries, but I think my emotions are what drives me.
Or what drive you, huh? Okay. So you have a good understanding of the different levels of importance that things have in your life? For example, when you think about the people in your life, you think about them in terms of most closest, second closest, third closest, like that, or you think of it in terms of circles, like inner circle, medium circle, outer circle?
That's an interesting question. I think more in the first one and the second closest and the third closest.
Okay. Um, so when you talk about, do you have trouble making decisions? Do you have to think about it for a long time?
Yes, a lot, a long, long time. I need to watch every decision, the outcome of that decision, and then I can decide, and it takes a lot of time. Even for the simplest thing as to what drink I want to have in a supermarket, I need to closely watch every piece of drink they have, practically.
Okay. Um, so you said that sometimes you do the cooking in the house. Can you break down the task of cooking dinner into exactly 5 steps?
5. Okay. So the first step is I decide what to cook. The second one is to get the pan out of the oven. We store them in the oven. Then I get the ingredients, I cook them up, and then I plate them on the plate.
Okay, cool. Um, now I'm going to ask you some, like, what are called syllogism questions. It's like kind of a mathish kind of question, you know. If some birds like baseball and all things that like baseball are named Steve, is it necessarily the case that some birds are named Steve?
Yes.
Okay. If only Egyptians build pyramids and I build pyramids, am I necessarily an Egyptian?
If only Egyptians. Yes.
Build pyramids. Yeah.
And you build a pyramid? Yes.
Okay. If all penguins eat fish and I eat fish, am I necessarily a penguin?
No.
Okay. All right. Um, can you tell me possible? Okay, so like there's a show that my wife watched one season of it. It's called Love Island, and basically they put a bunch of single people on this island, and it's like a dating show. Right? I want you to come up with other possible dating show ideas that are similar in in some way to the concept of Love Island, but not Love Island. Other ideas that you might have as a dating show.
Okay. Put them on a cruise,
Okay.
all singles, and then I like a big mansion, maybe,
Okay.
or even make them at groups, and then watch them as they travel the world and encounter one another.
Okay. All right. Well, let me give you an invention, a new invention that I've made up, and I want you to come up with some marketing names, ways to sell it. Okay. So my new invention, it's a pair of glasses with a very small laser pointer in both of these things. So you turn on the laser pointer and point to things with my laser pointer and my glasses. So what is a good name to sell this invention as?
Glasses with lasers. Uh, I could come up with pointer glasses, maybe, or you could do a slogan like if you watch someone, you can blind them, or
Okay.
or the green glasses, but they are not green, just the laser.
Okay. Let me ask you these questions. Where do you think your taste is better? Do you think you have better taste in music or better taste in fiction?
Fiction, for example,
Like a
books.
novel or a short story?
Oh, music.
Okay. How about, do you have better taste in music or in visual arts, painting, sculpture, whatever?
Visual arts.
Okay. Do you consider yourself, what what's your, as you go about your day-to-day business, what's your internal monologue like? For example, are you thinking, okay, self, don't forget at 2 o'clock I have to go to this thing. And also, I wonder what's like, talk me through your internal monologue.
So I'm afraid it's just not one monologue. I have two primarily. One that says, don't forget, and don't forget continuously. But then at the time that I needed, I forget it. And another that keeps track of what I'm doing, like I need to get up, I need to brush my teeth, I need to get ready for school. How, what time is it? It's
Okay.
one question after another, and then all the order of what I need to do in that day.
Okay. What about when you're lying in bed at night trying to go to sleep? Are you reviewing stuff that happened during the day? Are you imagining yourself in some far off land? Are you um like counting sheep or what? What do you think? What's going on in your head when you're trying to go to sleep?
So I need to distract my mind because I think of all the things that I forget to do in the day, and then I think about what I need to do tomorrow, and maybe I think about life in general. So when I go to sleep, I need to put some white noises or brown noises, something to distract the mind to go to sleep. If not, I revive everything that I need to do.
Okay. What happens if you had like uh, a talking video on in the background? Will that keep you awake, or do you sometimes go to sleep with video playing in the background?
Yeah, yeah, video, yes, absolutely. ASMR also, videos about not complicated things like maybe art documentary, sorry, and a film I can also put on and then go to sleep. Just something that makes noises to go to sleep.
Okay. Um, what do you think the difference between emotions and feelings is?
Emotions and feelings, the difference.
Yeah.
I actually don't think they are much different. I'm
Okay.
yeah,
Um,
like
how aware?
emotions are inside and feelings are what you feel on your body physically, maybe.
Yeah, that's one kind of distinction you could make for sure. So emotionally, do you think your emotions have a physical sensation that is associated with them?
Yes.
So can you give me an example of an emotion and the physical sensation that's associated with it?
Sure. For example, if I'm afraid, my knees go weak, and then I just have a knot on my stomach and in my throat. Or if I'm happy, I get this tingling sensation on my face, and also I'm more energized. If I am nervous, really nervous, like almost anxious, uh, I could get even a sugar drop in my body.
Okay. Do you feel it like do you have a good sense of I'm getting hungry, I'm gonna need to eat soon, or do you forget about being hungry until all of a sudden you're starving to death?
Yeah, if until I am starving actually.
Okay. Um so do you feel like you've got a better understanding of how other people perceive you or of how other people feel?
About me or feel in general?
Feel in general.
Oh, uh, more about how people feel.
Okay. So if you encounter somebody who's sad in some way,
Mhm.
or let's just say sad, you're going to default to thinking that it's not about you. Is that correct?
Well, if I didn't do anything wrong, then I think yes, I will not think about myself being the reason.
Okay. Um, how much when you're not going to school, how much do you enjoy getting out of the house and either socializing with multiple people or going somewhere with your boyfriend and doing an activity versus are you like a homebody?
No, I enjoy going out. I also enjoy staying in, but if I had to choose the day that I'm not going to university, I would love to do some activity that comprehends on other people.
Okay. Um, what kind of things do you do when you go out? Like go to museums or something, or you go drinking or what?
Um, when I go outside, I usually go to a bar if I am on a short notice. Like if I'm deciding today for tomorrow, I usually go to a bar just to talk with the other person. If not, we can go to a restaurant or maybe a mall or just go around the city center.
I see. Do you live in a big city in Italy?
Bologna, yes.
Okay. Is that where they invented bologna?
Bologna, the in Italy it's called mortadella.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So
Um,
yes, this is where
yeah, that's a very popular lunch meat in America, bologna.
I saw some receipt online.
Okay, cool. Does that town have a lot of like old architecture from like the Middle Ages and stuff?
Something yes, and something it's been long gone. For example, we have a lot of arches around the city, and then there are the old walls that protected the city towers. Some
I see. Do you know that the Romans used lead in their piping? But even though you'd think that would be terrible, you could drink water from a lead pipe. actually, as long as the water keeps flowing through the pipes, eventually it gets like this coating of stuff over it, and so it's fine.
Oh, no, I didn't know this.
Man, really? I
No.
just learned that the other day. I had to get some plumbers to come over to my house to change the faucet in my kitchen sink, and I looked up, why are they called plumbers? Well, the answer is because it's from the word in Latin that means lead.
Oh, well, that's a fun fact I will tell to my friends also. Thank
And you know what? I have another fun fact for you too. You're gonna really like this fun fact. Did you know that capybaras ride on top of crocodiles?
you. No, I didn't know this one either.
And
But
I just learned this recently too. It's true. I didn't believe it when somebody told me. I was like, no, that's ridiculous. Capybaras are such friendly creatures that they convince crocodiles to give them rides.
it's like a boat for them.
Yeah, crazy, right? Anyway, okay, so you did well on the TI questions. You also did well on the TE question, which seems to eliminate um, ISFJ. You also seem very SI conscious, which eliminates, you know, 8 types or something. I would you say that you are more introverted than your friends think you are, or more extroverted than your friends think you are?
Hmm, I think I'm more extroverted. Yes. I
Than your
want to
friends
do,
think you
yeah, because I have a lot of friends that are very calm and I wish sometimes to do something more fun than just what we normally do, just walking around. I wish we could do something more crazier.
are. Okay, cool. Um, so I'm going to ask now about a couple of values and ask you which you think is the end and which you think is the means. So, for example, um, is the it with when it comes to being logically correct and being socially graceful, is you have to be socially graceful so that people will listen to you when you're logically correct, or do you have to be logically correct so that people will perceive you as socially graceful?
I think logically correct to be socially graceful, but at the same time, it's the way you put your opinion. Because if you're just arrogant, people will not like you, even if you tell the truth. So I will be right, but at the same time, I will be gentle with it. So yes, I think
Okay.
having the truth it's more powerful than lying to other people too.
Okay. But if you feel like you see the truth clearly about something, but can't think of a nice way to say it, is it better to say nothing at all?
Mm. Yes. For me, yes.
Okay, cool. Um, and what about authenticity or efficiency? Is it, are you, do you need to know what you authentically want in order to be efficient, or do you need to be efficient in order to get what you authentically want?
The first one.
Okay. All right. What's more important as a value to you for yourself to uphold? Authenticity or reliability?
Reliability.
Okay. What do you think authenticity means?
Uh, like having the truth and also keeping uh, fighting for it, like not discussing with other people if they are wrong and you know the truth, like something like this for me. It's
Okay.
a
All right, cool. So what I mean by authenticity is more like knowing what's most important to you
oh
versus, knowing, having a good sense of what's most precious to you versus least precious to you.
oh okay.
And another part of authenticity is actually putting yourself in someone else's shoes. So in other words, to try to experience their authentic experience via that modality. Those are elements of authenticity.
Oh,
So,
then
so in
then
other
it's
words, authenticity is being true to your own emotions. The thing you're talking about would be uh, a different a different function, which would be relevance or singularity, um, the holistic truth. That's a different cardinal function. So
I don't know anything about the the personalities, so
okay, so given that authenticity is about your own emotions, how do you value it compared to, say, being socially graceful?
mm, in that case, I prefer authenticity.
Okay, and what about authenticity and versus impact? Would you rather, is it more important to you to be authentic or more important to you to be impactful?
Impactful.
Do you think you have more difficulty being authentic or impactful?
Authentic sometimes.
Okay. Wherein lies the difficulty in being authentic?
Uh, well, it depends on the place I am, for example. But for sure, staying true to your emotions and what you think and everything that it's difficult sometimes if you want to be socially graceful, for example. So
Okay, so it might be more socially graceful to say, it doesn't matter to me what happens here. We'll do it your way. But it's so that's what makes it more difficult to be authentic, is because you're going to have to say, well, actually, I want it my way.
yeah, I'm not the type to say that. Like if I work alone, it's better. I'm not doing great with teamwork because I'm not the one that can fight really hard for my own way.
I see.
So
Okay. Um, do you think you try to avoid people who are pushy or domineering because of that?
I avoid the people that are pushy. Yes, yes.
Okay, cool. Um, all right, so I'm going to give you a long sentence. I want you to give me the short version of it, okay? So this long sentence will have some redundancies and some less relevant details, as well as some significantly relevant details, okay? So if you want to experience old world charm and lots of delicious food with tomato sauce, you should visit the country of Italy, a land that prioritizes pasta and other dishes that include tomato sauce, and that also features the town of Bologna, which is where they invented bologna, which went on to become a popular lunch meat in America. And additionally, in Italy, you'll find lots of wineries where they squeeze the grapes into delicious drinks that you can consume with your food. That's the end of the sentence. Now you sum it up for me.
So, if you enjoy the Mediterranean diet, if you enjoy a good, nice glass of wine at the end of your meal, and if you enjoy a lot of tomato sauce, then you should come to Italy. Uh, the places where you eat very well, something like that.
Okay. All right. Um, okay. Hmm. How much do you think a person's usefulness matters in terms of your valuing of them?
Sorry, what?
A person's usefulness.
Mhm.
How much do you think that matters in your valuing of them?
Like how I value a person by their
Yeah,
useless.
like are you do you think that if somebody's not being productive enough that they lose value in your eyes?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think that you yourself are good at being productive enough?
If I am good enough to be reactive,
No, productive.
productive, I am not. For this reason, I prefer to surround myself with very productive people so I can try to get to their level.
I see. Um, and what do you think? So I'm curious about this. You're studying languages and you already speak three languages, but you don't feel as though creatively you want to express yourself in words. Can you go and explain that for me?
Uh, I love culture and languages, so I choose this path. Also because I am very terrible at math, so I didn't want any university that has math in it. Um, I can express myself in words, but at the same time, I hate to see other people hurt by my words. So usually I think really hard about what I am going to say. So it's tiring also a little to be very open about everything that I want to say.
I see. Do you find that people are easily hurt by things that you say?
If I'm not controlling, yes.
Is it because people are very sensitive or because you say a lot of mean things?
I, I don't think I say very mean things. Uh, I just say the truth. Like, if something doesn't go right with me, I'll say it, but I will think about it very hard to know how to say it. Because if not, if I just say it out loud how I I want, I know for sure that I will lose that person.
You suck ass. Is that what,
Thank you.
is that what you say to them? Sometimes you're like, I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud? You suck ass.
Sometimes I can just be like, why are you like this? But then I correct myself and then I say something like, what is the reason that you think like this? Or maybe what is the reason that you act like this? Let me help you. Something more peaceful.
I see. Do you have a decent number of people in your life that you feel like need need to be dealt with like that? Like, okay, you're behaving badly in some fashion.
Yes, some people, yes. And I'm actually thinking about doing it. And to stop thinking about it.
I see. Oh. So, what are you going to be more defensive about? Critique regarding your logicalness and fairness, or a critique regarding your ability to get things done, reliability?
Get things done.
Okay. And what do you think you're going to be more critical about? Another person's ability to take care of themselves, or another person's, or a person's ability to be concise and highlight what's relevant?
Um, Probably the way they take care of themselves. Sorry.
Okay. Um, what do you think makes a song good?
What?
What do you think makes a song good?
A song. Ah, uh, the background music, like the bass and maybe some violin or what the background music. Also the lyrics, but if the music is not enough, then the lyrics just are meaningless sometimes.
Okay. Um, if you're consuming a video that's teaching you something, is it more important to you that it provides new information, surprising information you've not heard before? Or is it more important to you that it be concise and sum up information in a tidy and quick way?
Mm, no, I love new information. I love to learn things. Yes.
Okay. Um, okay. Can you tell, do you ever watch like movies, like feature length films?
Movies and picturing.
You know, feature length films, like feature films.
Ah, uh, maybe I don't know the description of it. What is a feature film?
It's like a movie that's like 2 hours long, you know,
A very long movie.
or between an hour and a half and 2 hours, usually something like
Yes,
that.
yes, yes,
So,
yes.
can you talk to me about a particular movie you've seen that you think is especially good and one that's especially bad?
One that is especially good is the Christmas Truce. It's an historical film about the truce uh, that's been on Christmas, where the troops decided in that particular day to stop fighting, and they like football. They did football and they enjoyed the company. That was a good film.
World War I or World War II?
Uh, I don't remember. I think World War II, but I don't want to say something that is
Okay.
not correct. And a film that's really bad. Well, I don't remember one, but I can say the uh, How do sorry, 1 second. I think maybe a series I can say. The
Okay,
Shadowhunter.
sure, sure,
The,
sure.
the Shadowhunter series. It's not. It's nothing like the books.
Mhm. Yeah, you know what else is nothing like books and is terrible as a series is Wheel of Time. Bought the rights. Amazon Prime bought the rights to that book, and they just butchered the living fuck out of it. It's ridiculous.
I hate this. Even
Yeah,
I Am Legend. It's a great film, but it's nothing like the books.
I see. Um. Okay. Well. Um. When somebody has a problem, do you have a tendency to offer solutions when they really want commiseration, or do you tend not to offer solutions, but instead say something like, "Oh, I feel really bad for you," or "Oh, how sad for you," or something like that?
No, I tend to say solutions.
Do what about physical exercise? Do you? Well, what's it actually? Before we move away from that, what's a solution going to sound like? You talked before about how you wanted to be very careful about how you said things. Does that include that kind of thing?
Yes, so maybe at first I am like, oh, I'm so sorry about this. Do you want help? Something. And then if they say yes, then it's the solution I offer.
You need to stop being such a little bitch.
Well, sometimes I say to just stop crying and you know take the life in your hands and do something, because sometimes people just whine about things that they can actively change. So
I see. So you think that if you're complaining about something that you either can't or won't do anything about, then that qualifies as just whining.
no, I say whining because it's what the last one did. But if they can't do anything about it, then it's alright. I will just console them, comfort them. But if they can actively do something that right moment, then I'll do them. I'll do them the favor to highlight this solution, and then I can help them even if they want.
Okay, I'm going to try the long sentence into a short sentence question again. Okay, a different sentence this time. I want you to really try to focus on making it as short as possible. Okay.
Short as possible. Okay.
For people who like the ocean but get seasick on boats and who wish to serve in the Navy, perhaps a good choice is to join the submarine Navy, where you'll get to ride around in a boat that goes underneath the water and thus doesn't bounce up and down on the waves like a boat on top of the ocean would. Also, if you like small spaces, you'll be confined in a small space underneath the water for long stretches of time. So if you're agoraphobic, which means you dislike open spaces, then maybe the submarine Navy is for you.
Okay. So if you get seasick, but you still enjoy the water, you should join the Navy submarines. If you also hate big spaces and walking around freely, then this is the solution for you.
All right, cool. Um, so I have for you a type now,
Oh,
and I feel, I'd say about 95% convinced that this is the type you are. I think you're an INFP.
INF, INFP.
Yeah. And this type has their own feelings or interested calculus. What's important, what's precious to them is their dominant function. And then coming up with different ideas and possibilities as their second or tool function. And as their like childlike reward function, they've got introverted sensing, which is like taking care of yourself, getting enough sleep, eating. As your blind spot, you've got extroverted sensing, which is like getting shit done. And then you are good at the other kind of deliberation too, which is introverted thinking. So your logic's good, but it's secondary in your approach to life to your interested calculus. Logic being a disinterested calculus, your emotions being an interested calculus. And because you're prioritizing your own emotions and interested calculus, you also care a lot about other people's emotions more than their perceptions.
Mm.
Um, you scored well on pretty much all of the polar tests that I normally give. Like you're not extroverted intuition polar, obviously, which is the blind spot one. So in other words, coming up with ideas, that's not your blind spot. Being logical, that's not your blind spot. Being authentic, that's not your blind spot. Being socially graceful, that's not your blind spot. Being efficient, that's not your blind spot. So certainly like taking care of yourself, that's not your blind spot. What we're left with is definitely getting shit done, checking shit off a list. You have a very uh, similar relationship to that I do, where I spend a lot more time reminding myself to do something. That total amount of time I spend doing that is much bigger than the amount of time it takes to actually do the thing.
Yes, like I don't know, getting to do laundry. I can remind that for 1 week and then spend 5 minutes on that, and then get angry because I could have just done it.
Checking my email can sometimes be quite a daunting task. Once I have been avoiding my email for like 36 hours, then it starts to become a thing, like, oh, I have to check my email. But now I really don't want to because I haven't looked at it in a while.
Yes. I don't. If it wasn't for you, I will not open my emails today.
Yeah, well, if your boy, I was avoiding my email, then your boyfriend came onto my live stream and was like, check your email. I'm like, okay, all right. Okay. Anyway, I think I'm correct. I think you're an INFP. I wouldn't be surprised at all if your boyfriend agrees with me about that. We'll see what he says, or you'll see what he says anyway.
Yeah.
So
Also, I wanted to ask one last thing. You did with him something about numbers last time. Last time,
oh
like
yeah, I'll do that with you too if you want, sure.
yeah.
So let's say somebody is angry at you. You just pulled into a parking spot that they thought they wanted, that they were gonna get, but they think you stole their parking spot, okay? And they get out of their car and say, Mamma mia, I'm so angry at you. um, do you respond with anger? Like, hey, Mamma mia, you. Or do you say like, okay, fine, if it's that important to you, you can have the parking space. Or are you like, you know what? I'm not even gonna talk to you because you're too angry.
No, the first one. I will be angry too.
Okay. And then is the reason why in general you don't have to feel ashamed of yourself, is it because number is it because you are helpful? Is it because you are high achieving, or is it because screw you and your rules?
Ashamed?
Ashamed, yeah.
Ashamed. If I, sorry, if I don't feel ashamed because I did one of these
Like,
three things.
yeah, well, it's like, which better describes your relationship with the approval of others? Is it I'm helpful, so they should approve of me? Is it I'm high achieving, so they should approve of me? Or is it screw you, I don't need you to approve of me?
Well, I'm helpful, yes.
Okay. And then the third question is, um, there's a big monster coming your way. Are you going to learn all the facts about the monster so that you don't have to be so scared of it? You know what to do or whatever? Or are you going to like hear the facts about the monster and then say, well, fortunately I've got my safe space here, my little nest, and I'll just build up the walls around me? Or are you like, oh, I'm sure that monster won't come to my place. I just ignore it and hope it goes someplace else?
Hmm. It's complicated, this one, for me, because I will feel like that I'll do both the hiding in my secure space and the learning about the monster, so I won't be scared of him.
Okay.
If I needed to choose, maybe I would love more to learn about the monster.
Okay. Um, so of the first two questions, was it easier to answer the question about anger, or was it easier to answer the question about shame?
Anger.
Okay. So then you are an 8 to, which one did you pick for the other one? You picked your nest, or did you pick learning about the thing?
Learning about the
Your eight
thing.
825. Let me look it up here. See what it's
Eight.
called. It's called. Okay. 8, 2, 5. Go 2, 5. There it is. It's called the venture capitalist. Seek control by initiating projects, fear humiliation, seek approval, look to create positions of strength, loathe signs of disenchantment. You like intrigue. That's what it says. I don't know if that's you or not, but
It is.
it
It
is.
is.
Okay, cool. So that's it's interesting. Venture capitalist, huh?
Intercalp.
Well, cool. So, there is one other possibility, although you just don't seem this way at all to me, but it would be more consistent with this Enneagram type, is that it's conceivable you might be an ESTJ, I guess, because um, same function stack and uh, and you, at least on your first test on the NI blind test, you you had trouble making the long sentence concise, right? You tried to include a lot more details than would have been ideal for concision. So that would be typically seen more in anti-blind. But the thing is, ultimately, I think an ESTJ would not identify with having trouble getting shit done or checking shit off a list at all. So in that regard, I think INFP is still the right typing for you. So you're an ambitious INFP, you know.
Thank you.
So okay, cool. I will stop recording this, and then I'll share it with you via the email address that I invited you to this meeting.
If you want to publish it, I don't mind.
Okay, that'd be great. Thank you. I'll publish it then.
Yes.
All right, cool. Thanks.
Thank you.
So have a good day,
You
and
too.
and thanks for everything.